Writing SEO content for business websites can be incredibly satisfying, especially when traffic starts pouring in, no doubt about this. But what happens when those clicks don't turn into sales? I know how much you love writing content, right? I mean, content that rank. But if you could pause a minute and listen attentively to me, you will realize that for every content you write for a business website, there is an issue. Most SEO strategies actually fall short because writers or content writers focus more on traffic alone, neglecting the entire customer journey. And if you feel guilty about this also, that is, you love chasing rankings on Google's first page and even the clicks that come afterwards without guiding buyers through the different stages in the buyer's journey, you are leaving so much money on the table unclaimed. And this is what exactly I want to cover in this particular video, helping you to learn how you can turn your traffic into purchases. I mean, specifically turning the searchlight on the various SEO content mistakes that business owners make. So let's get right into this together, guys, and let me show you what exactly you have been missing in your content writing journey, and maybe you can make a bit of an adjustment and get results from every content you write, either a lead result or an outright sales results. So a winning content is one that ranks on Google, that drives in organic traffic, and of course at the end of the day fulfills a business purpose. A business purpose can be conversion, I mean generating leads or generating sales. So if you have this understanding as an SEO content writer, especially an SEO content writer with focus on business side of things, right, you will have gone more than half the journey at the end of the day, right? So if you must craft a content that rank on Google and of course get sales coming in or lead coming in, you must understand the sales funnel and the buyer's journey, right? So what is a sales funnel? A sales funnel, as you can see on my screen here, I've drawn it. If you understand what a typical funnel is, then you should understand what a funnel is also, a sales funnel is. A typical funnel that you know is that material by which you transfer liquid from one source to the other. And of course, in the process of doing that, some liquids will pour away and some will get to the base of the funnel. So a sales funnel is a marketing material that helps you capture or map out different stages in the buyer's journey, right? And of course, as you can see here on my screen, we have the traffic, which is the very first point in the sales funnel. In this section, you actually attract traffic leveraging on the different digital marketing strategies, right? And in this place, you have the awareness section, the consideration section, and the decision section. So in a typical buyer's journey, you have the awareness stage, you have the consideration stage, and you have the decision stage. The awareness stage is simply the stage where this buyer does not know they have a problem. I mean, they're only seeking for information about a particular problem, about a particular product. They want to be enlightened, they want to be educated, right? At this stage, these guys don't actually know they have a problem, and it is your responsibility to educate them. It is your responsibility to make them see the various problems and challenges they have. So typically in this stage, you are only educating. You are simply educating and providing information, right? In this stage of the buyer's journey, you are simply giving them information and education. So you don't expect these people to buy anything from you. And this exactly is the same mistake that most SEO content writers make also, right? Writing plenty content that simply educates and informs. Usually, these target audiences may be students wanting to get information to carry out their researches in school. They may be business owners also that most likely don't even know they have a particular problem that needs a solution. So generally speaking, this stage in the buyer's journey, the awareness stage, covers information. I mean, you are expected to provide tons of information or educational materials, right? The likes of how-to content, the why content, the when content, and several other kind of informational content that you are aware of, right? So the next stage in the buyer's journey is the consideration stage. At this particular stage, the consideration stage, this guy is already asking questions. I mean, questions like, what solution do I really need for this particular problem, right? The person is already considering, making researches on the various or the available solution to some of his problems. So HubSpot puts it correctly. At this particular stage in the buyer's journey, the client is simply asking questions about the various solutions they may need for their problems, right? They're asking questions like, what are the various categories of solution to this particular problem? So they want to know the different layers of solution that are available to a particular problem or for a particular problem. So this is how you get to understand that this particular content or this particular customer is currently in the consideration stage. By the word consideration, they are already considering, they are already getting warmed up to seek solution to their problems, right? So this is the consideration stage, and the decision stage is the final stage right here, where the guy already makes up his mind. I want to buy this particular product, and questions they may be asking is, how much is this particular solution? Questions like, how long does this take to work, right? Questions like, what is the comparison between this particular product and that particular product? So this exactly is how you know this particular guy is already in the decision stage. There are several other factors that you will need to put into consideration to actually decipher between the awareness stage, the consideration stage, and the decision stage. But long and short is the fact that to write a content that converts into lead or into sales, you have to understand the different stages of the buyer's journey, and you also have to understand the sales funnel. A failure to understand sales funnel and the buyer's journey will obviously keep you on that particular front where you continuously generate content that only educates people without getting them to buy. And this also is the same mistake that so many business platforms make. When they hire SEO content writers, they don't know what kind of content these SEO content writers need to produce. And the SEO content writers, on the other hand, as well, don't know what type of content they must provide or they must produce at every point in time. So there is a time for the production of awareness-based kind of content. There is a time also where you need to produce content that speak to the consideration guys or the consideration clients, and of course there is a stage where you need to produce content for the decision making to aid a potential client to make decisions seamlessly. So a good understanding of sales funnel, a good understanding of the buyer's journey, the different stages in the buyer's journey, will obviously help you to produce content for a business website that converts into sales or into lead, obviously. So let's get right into the traffic sources for a typical sales funnel. In order to perfectly understand the sales funnel, you must understand also the various traffic sources so that you don't get them mixed up, right? As an SEO person, you are meant to focus your attention on SEO content as a means of generating traffic to a website. So these are the various digital marketing strategies by which you can also drive tons of traffic to a business website, as in the case of a funnel, right? The very first one of them is what we are currently considering, the search engine optimization, where you have the on-page SEO and of course the blogging as well. So on-page SEO comprising of individual pages optimization and of course also blogging, right? Content writing. So when you produce blog content or optimize a page, you are simply practicing the on-page SEO. And when you do this, you are simply helping to drive traffic to the funnel as well. So there are different strategies also by which can drive traffic to a business platform. You have things like the pay-per-click advertising, right? Pay-per-click advertising allows you to also drive traffic to a business website with the assistance of Facebook, with the assistance of TikTok, and of course also with the assistance of Instagram and Google advertising, either the search advertising or the display advertising or the performance max advertising. So we also have email marketing, we have the social media management, and several other digital marketing strategies by which you can drive tons of traffic to this particular website. But specifically, guys, we are looking into the search engine optimization, on-page SEO, and of course also the blogging section of search engine optimization. Now, for each of these journeys, for each of these stages in the buyer's journey, there are different types of SEO content that will work for them. For instance, the awareness stage in the buyer's journey will obviously go for the tofu content, right? So the awareness stage in the buyer's journey will obviously accommodate the tofu content, and the consideration stage of the buyer's journey will house content like the mofu content, and the decision stage will house things like the bofu content, right? The bofu content. Now let's look at all of this in closer perspective. Now the mofu, right? The tofu, the mofu, and of course the bofu. You understand already that these tofus are simply targeting awareness, right? Awareness to educate, right? Educate, right? To inform, right? To inform. So the mofu content, on the other hand, targets the consideration. And of course, in this stage, you are simply helping them to choose, right? Helping these guys to consider, to choose a particular product. Now, what type of content once again works for the tofu content? Of course, I said educational content, informational content. But content that work in the consideration or in the tofu stage may include things like case studies kind of content. Content that works for the consideration stage may include things like case study content. So content that works for the consideration stage may include things like case studies. I mean, you could literally do keyword researches that put case studies into consideration. I mean, doing keyword researches that look into people's past experiences, right? Case studies, how this particular solution or this particular product has worked for people in the past, things like that, right? You can also look into guides. How can people use these products and get results? Do you understand? I mean, things like how best to use WordPress for business conversion, something like that, a case study, right? Let's say, for instance, Mr. X's experience with Wix website that got him 50,000 sales monthly, case study. Things like Mr. Y's personal experience with Uber Suggest that got him 40,000 organic ranking on Google, case study, right? Another example may be Mr. Joe's personal experience with Canon EOS D60 camera that got him clear video shots, case studies. So case studies are good examples of consideration content. Another one can be comparison content, right? Where you compare two different products. Say, for instance, business A reaches out to you asking you to write them mofu content, right? Ask you to write them mofu content, and let's say this particular business is into AI content generating tool, right? One of the contents you may write them is simply comparing their tool with other available tool in the market, bringing out the features of their tools, right? Writing their features beautifully, making these features really, really irresistible, right? These are good examples of mofu content. When a reader finds this content online, right, it becomes easy for them to consider doing business with this particular organization, right? So comparison products or guides or case studies and several other ones I will really leave to you to find out are good examples of mofu content, right? And last but not least, the bofu content is the kind of content that is found at the bottom of the funnel. So this is called the bottom of funnel content. This is called the middle of funnel content, and this is called the top of funnel content. The awareness, the middle, the consideration, the bottom, the bofu, right? So at this stage, this person is making decision, right? So it is even very easy for you to generate email leads from here when you do mofu content. It's easier for you to generate leads and sometimes not sales but leads from a mofu content, because this person is simply still considering, right? This person is simply still looking at things, guides, comparing products, your products and other products in the market. And if the person finds your product incredibly okay or good, they can subscribe as leads, right? And when they subscribe as leads, you can follow up on them with some other kind of content like email marketing, right? Sending them additional mofu content, still comparing the products with other products, bringing up case studies and testimonials. And this is where testimonials in email marketing becomes very important, because the person is considering your product, and the person wants to see further conviction. How best can you convince me that your product is good? And this is where email marketing becomes also very important. And if you know email marketing also as an SEO specialist, it becomes an additional skill for you. So at this stage, you can follow up on them with other content like testimonials and several other things also that help them further consider to do business with you. So at this stage, the person already considers and of course decides to do business with you. This is where you write content like price, the price of a particular product. This is where you write content bordering on testimonial kind of content, testimonials, right, or reviews. And funny enough, guys, there are different keyword researches that allows people to write testimonial content that rank organically on Google. Take for instance, a guy writes, let's say, what 30 people are currently saying about WordPress, right? I mean 30 personal experiences about WordPress. This may be a long form content that further allows any guy who discovers it on Google to decide to do business with WordPress, right? So do your keyword research, right, revolving around testimonial kind of keywords. Do you understand? Testimonial kind of keywords will help a particular content or business get sales, right? Things like free trials. An example in this regard may be 15 AI mobile applications that you can try for free, right? The guy is curious. Oh, let me check them out. Maybe I can try them for free also, right? And the guy comes there and lands on your sales page, right? The guy comes there and sees a particular blog content outlining about 15 different apps, and your own application top of the list, well written and very long and detailed, with several call to action links or buttons within your own content that takes people from your content to your sales page well written sales page with every known conversion element on it, right? Like form fields, like filling of forms, like live chat, like free trials on your sales page, right? So this particular content here will hold people by the jugular and drag them into your sales bank. So this exactly is what every content writer, every SEO content writer must always put into consideration, right? A good understanding of the sales funnel, a good understanding of the buyer's journey, a good understanding of the different digital marketing strategies, and a good understanding of the different types of content that can be produced, the tofu, the mofu, and the bofu content. And when you know all of this as a content writer, you stand at an advantageous position to drive massive lead and massive sales for anyone whose content you pick up to write, right? And a good understanding of all of this also will help you do better keyword researches. So except you are simply fixated on writing content that drives in traffic for the sake of monetizing it on Google AdSense alone, you may not have a need to look into the mofu and the bofu content anymore. But if you are an SEO content writer with a long-term vision, not necessarily wanting to generate funds from Google AdSense alone, but freelance content writing gigs, you must know how to write mofu content and bofu content as well, because no business is set up to drive traffic alone without a sales, without leads. And that is why mofu and bofu content are very important and key to a business online success, especially when it comes to this particular strategy, search engine optimization. So thank you so much, guys. I hope this particular video makes sense to you. I hope you have also gotten a lot of value from this. If this is making a lot of sense to you, consider liking this particular video and subscribing also to my YouTube channel, so that when next I make long form educational content like this, you will be one of the very first persons to get wind of it. Thank you so much once again, and bye for now.